Folks, welcome back to the Wild West Crypto Show. I'm Drew.
I'm Brent.
And we have with us, like we do every week, with stories from all over the world.
All around the world.
Yeah, Jonathan, Cryptocurrency Wire. Jonathan, how are you doing, buddy?
Oh, really good. I was so excited. This week is actually Futurist Conference virtual. We'll be back in Toronto, obviously, next year like we are the previous years. But they actually let me do the opening keynotes, so getting a lot of great response from that. And for those that happen to miss the conference, I highly recommend you watch the recording. So much good content.
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit of stuff on that, and it was a good one. They had a lot of good folks, and congratulations to you as the keynote, man.
Well, we're going to be saying, I remember him when.
Yes, yeah, we already do.
Well, I told the team that, I was roughed up by the crypto cowboys, or I wouldn't be ready for this opportunity, and it worked.
They say iron sharpens iron, doesn't it?
That's right.
All right. Well, hey, listen, you got some good ones, Jonathan. First one right here. U.S. Fed economists are exploding the intrinsic value drivers of CBDCs. What's that about?
So for those that don't know what CBDCs are, basically central bank digital currencies, as the acronym would indicate. But questions are being asked, mainly circling around the means for transmitting monetary policy directly to households, new payment features, but probably more importantly, how the store of value would work as households choose which monies to use. Even though CBDCs have been described as the central bank's arms race, we know that Powell is more interested in privacy and security than having a first mover advantage, so it'll probably still be some time, but these are some of the questions that they're asking.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Well, and we all know the federal government, the Fed's just going slow on everything.
Oh, yeah.
But I can certainly understand the privacy aspect to it. I just hope we don't go slow that we get behind.
Yeah. I know Central Bank Christine Lagarde saying that monetary policy and all that, and they're looking for a digital version of the euro in the next 2 to 4 years. So, I mean, there's movement in that direction, and the U.S. is kind of behind on it as usual.
Well, let's go to the next one. Fund execs are offering a $1 million bets that the Bitcoin S2F model won't come true. So tell us about that one.
So S2F stands for stock to flow, and that's been used for gold and silver. It's a great model. And for those that haven't heard about it, in terms of Bitcoin, it's been super accurate with Bitcoin. And the current prediction is a Bitcoin price of up to $288,000 by 2022. It has to do with how much new Bitcoin is being introduced into the market and how much currently exists. But Eric Wall's bet goes further out than just 2022, saying that he bets $1 million the model will be broken in less than 5 years from now. And he's quite serious about it too. He said he's willing to lock up his money the entire time with a third party, and he just needs someone else to take up his offer and also lock up their $1 million for up to 5 years, see who wins.
Well, and here's the thing. There are so many people that are getting in, big institutional stuff, and they're not buying it at 10,000, 12,000, whatever, for it to go up 1,000 or 2 and trade it.
Right.
Because, they got in and they're big enough that they know it's illiquid enough that they don't really have the ability to go in and out and do any kind of trading. They might go over here in the futures and the options and play something. But the more of this that gets sold and gets in those hands, the more of it that is in effect hodled, whether they're really full-blown hodlers or not.
Yeah.
Price can only go one place because the law of supply and demand is going to take over.
Well, exactly. And since there's a finite amount and they are locking them up, then that pulls more out of the marketplace. That's very interesting. Talk about putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
That's a big vote of confidence.
It sure is.
Yeah. Well, let's move to this next one. We got a minute and a half left. So the Investor Brand Network, that'd be the IBN Studios, I believe, announces latest episode of Stock to Me podcast featuring best-selling author John Truman Wolfe. Kudos first to you guys, but tell us about that.
Well, thanks. I'd be glad to. This is our 6th podcast that we launched. We're now over 400 total episodes between the 6 different podcast series, but I thought your listeners might be interested in tuning in on this one. For those that don't know him, he's the international award-winning author of The Coming Financial Crisis, a look behind the wizard's curtain, and his other book, The 99 Strongest Banks in America, Wolf kicked off the podcast by examining the continued rise and mainstream appeal of decentralized cryptocurrencies following the launch of Bitcoin. And then he turned his attention towards the efforts of central bankers around the world to implement these CBDCs of their own. I think it's going to be very eye-opening for those that haven't dived in much deeper than hearing a couple headlines.
We're gonna have to deep dive that.
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, that'll certainly be worth reading about, as long as I just don't have to continue to say CBDC.
yeah, exactly.
If I had to say that 3 times real fast, there's no telling what you people would do here.
Well, that once again, Jonathan, I have to tell you, and it's almost getting to. It almost about half seems redundant, but what's happening is the pool of people that are seeing where cryptocurrencies are going is growing rapidly. I mean, we're about to hit that hockey stick,
Well, yeah. and everybody's saying, come on in, the water's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's great stuff, Jonathan.
Appreciate it, Jonathan. Good as usual.
Not a problem. Well, I'm
glad
to find some other good ones.
And from a keynote speaker, nonetheless.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. See, now we got to. All right, Jonathan, we'll see you next week, buddy.
Later, man.